Welcome CNG 132 students, back for week 7. A quick recap. So weeks 1 through 6, I believe it's actually 2 through 6, we did labs. Make sure you go back and get those labs completed, or at least start on them. I know hopefully the bugs are fixed here soon with them, but make sure to go back and do those labs because that is a substantial part of a grade. I think it's 20%, and if we only had maybe 6 labs total, each lab is worth a huge percent itself. So make sure to go back and do those labs from weeks, I believe, 2 through 6. This week, week 7, we do administering a secure network. Within this chapter, we talk about, let's see, SNMP, DNS, FTP, secure email protocols. What else? How to maintain some security by switching protocols also, I believe, is in this chapter. And imagining secure network platforms like virtualization, cloud computing. So key examples of that would be like virtualization. Do we need to run an antivirus on the virtual machines as well as the host machines? We kind of go in that into detail. Let's see, anything else with this chapter? I haven't found anything really exciting in the news. Next week, week 8, we do have another test. So make sure not to forget about that. But if you have forgotten to do the first test, or if you might forget a future test, make sure to go to frontrange.edu. I'm trying to pull it up right now. So frontrange.edu, then go to bookstore. I hope I choose the wrong thing. I think I did. So we'll choose bookstore, see campus stores, go to campus stores. We click textbook, Larimer campus, spring 2018. Then we'll go down to CNG. Select, I believe I said 120. Add selection, get materials. So right here again, even though it says Transcender, they are migrating. They should be Kaplan codes. So kaplanlearn.org, I believe, is the website. When you do a purchase online, make sure in the comment field you do attention Sandra Greenfield. Mention that you're an online student. Say attention Sandra. I'm an online student. Can you please have the code emailed to me? And instead of mailing that code or spending the extra, I think it's like $3, just to make sure that code is emailed to you. If there's any sort of problem, make sure to notify me. I can walk over to the bookstore. My classroom is not very far from that. And that should get you a Kaplan code. And once again, with those Kaplan codes, a score of 85 or better on that practice test will get you your test scores, all 4 of them, to 100s. So it's important that you rehearse that. And then once you have access to the Kaplan, make sure right here in the Transcender quiz, I guess I should rename that. Make sure in the Transcender quiz, once you have access, just show a snip that you have access. So maybe you post a score, maybe you just post your user count and you logged in with the Kaplan code right there by you. But make sure you just submit that, and it counts for a quiz grade, so you get 10 out of 10 for that submission. And then the Transcender test itself is whatever score you wish to keep in the Kaplan Transcender, that gets migrated over here as a test. And once again, if it's 85 or better, your test scores do go to 100. So it requires a little bit of rehearsal on your part, but it does get you more prepared for taking the Security Plus test or Security Plus exam certification at the end of the semester. Hopefully a lot of you go forth and do that over the summer semester. Spring break is coming up, So we have this week and the next week. Week 9 we start spring break. Larimer campus will be on spring break this week. Then when we come back, well, technically these 2 weeks go for 2 weeks each. So when Larimer is on spring break, Westminster and Boulder will work on week 9 material. When Larimer campus comes back, but Boulder campus goes on vacation, Larimer campus will work on week 9. And then once we move to week 10, that should be week 2. Or wait. I just confused myself. So let's see. Larimer campus will be on break this week. Boulder campus will be doing week 9. Once Larimer comes back, they will start week 9 and get into week 10. Yes, I believe that's correct. I'm more than positive I have that correct. For some reason, it doesn't sound correct in my head right now. But those 2 weeks should take 2 weeks each, just to make sure that we have enough time. And then once we come back, we should all be on week 11 at the same time. Let's see, anything else for week 7? Week 7, pretty straight and cut and dry. If you need any help, please let me know, or myself. Once again, the labs have finished, and that's usually where the issues arrive, is trying to get that virtual environment working with our browsers. But that should be over. Make sure at this point, since we're reaching about the halfway of the program, if you are missing any grades at all for a discussion, for a project, for a lab simulation, for a lab itself, make sure to go back in the previous weeks through MindTap, because the content right here should be grayed out for you. But make sure to migrate to MindTap and then navigate around to the exact thing you need within the MindTap book. And that should let you bring up your score and address those missing grades that help pull your grade up if you need it. I started making a folder at the bottom for projects. I started pulling projects into there. So if you need a past projects, please visit that folder there and withdraw any project you need. And I believe that's it. Have a good Monday. Good job this weekend. I read those discussions. Those were excellent. Firewalls are always one of the coolest things to read about, see how they change every year, and with a broad scope of what exactly each firewall can do. So good job on those discussions, and I'll check in later this week.